Hello, my name is Stephanie Mobley, and this is my introductory video for EDL852. So let's start by taking a look into my crazy life. So to start off, I am first and foremost a mom. I have 5 children. My oldest is Kale, age 10, Haven is 7, Presley 5, Kai is 3, and then the baby Collins is 1. My husband and I have been married for 13 years now. He farms, so I spend my summers helping him at the farm and in our spare time. My children and my husband all drag race, so we spend a lot of weekends at the drag strip. We also live in a very rural community. I actually teach at the same school that my husband and I both went to as children. A little bit about my work environment and my past teaching experience. I have been teaching for 9 years. I'm starting my 10th year. The past 5 years, I have been teaching 5th and 6th grade math, and that's it. Due to COVID and some other changes, I'll be self-contained, so I'll be teaching all subjects for 5th grade this year. I'm taking this class because I was asked by my school principal to kind of pursue a leadership role. Initially, this is not something that I had really thought I wanted to do, so I agreed to take a few classes, and here I am. So for our Module 1, the focus being a school vision and mission statement. So here we have a little T-chart kind of looking at the key components of each. A vision statement is very broad, sometimes has flowery statements, and it describes the highest priorities. You can tell a mission statement is much more detailed. It contains details such as like ages or other characteristics of your students, the curriculum philosophy and instructional approaches, the overall goal of a school, and almost all mission statements are academically focused. So the overall role of a school vision and mission statement is, I have to think of it as a commercial for your school. You want to show your community your school values and beliefs. Okay, so this is a commercial. You're trying to draw people into your school by showcasing what you are focusing on. So how do these work together? I kind of think of this as like an umbrella. A vision statement's very broad, and it's used to describe an end goal. So you think of this as, in the end, what do we want to accomplish? Your mission statement is used to describe how you're going to reach that goal. So kind of think of it as a plan of action, okay? So the process for developing a vision and a mission statement have 4 key components. The first is soliciting. You're going to solicit input from all stakeholders on the core values. So those stakeholders would, of course, be, your staff, your students, your community members, business owners, anybody within your community which have a stakeholder in your school. Step 2, and I see this as probably the most cumbersome and important step, is collaborating. You're gonna need to first do a needs assessment on your school. So that's gonna help you to determine your areas of weakness. What do we need to focus on? You'll then collaborate with your school leadership team to create a draft. Okay, that's where most of the work is done. Once you have your draft, you're gonna be presenting this to all staff and allow for revision. This is a good time for discussion. This will help to increase teacher buy-in. If they feel like they have say in the final mission statement or vision statement, they're going to have more buy-in, and we'll keep that vision and mission statement in the back of their minds when they're instructing and guiding their instruction. And then the 4th is unveiling. Once you've done all of these and you have your final vision and mission statement, finalized, you're going to unveil it to all the stakeholders, and then that will share your direction for the next 3 to 5 years. You're not going to want to keep your vision or mission statement much longer than that because your needs will change as years go by. So What will a well-written vision and mission statement look like? So I said earlier, it should be academically focused. This is a school where academics plays a key role. So that needs to be in your vision and mission statement. Your objectives should be clearly expressed. These should all be clearly displayed and present in the classroom. They should be easily accessible, and then they should be actively modeled. If teachers know their vision and mission statements and have buy-in, you'll be able to tell in their instruction. They'll be modeling those instructional practices outlined in their statements and completing that, and you'll be able to see that. Common problems with vision and mission statements are they can become wordy, making them kind of muddy and not clear. This will also lead to they could be unused. If people aren't understanding them, they're not going to be able to utilize them. Also, teacher buy-in is a huge issue. If you're not including the teachers in the developing of these mission and vision statements, they're not going to have buy-in. Also, if those statements aren't focused on the needed areas, so if you didn't do that needs assessment and take that information into accountability, you're not going to have as much buy-in because you're not going to be focusing on areas that teachers feel necessary. So my thoughts, I found this quote in one of our resources. It says, a school must have a vision that all staff and community members recognize as a common direction of growth, something that inspires them to be better. So to me, as I'm looking at a vision statement or a mission statement, a question I'm asking myself is, how can I use this to better my instruction? Okay, your teachers want to do the best. So if you're creating vision and mission statements that increase that, you're going to have much better outcomes from your students. All right, so let's look at my school vision and mission statement. So sadly, I had to hunt around for this. I ended up finding this little image in our student and parent handbook online. I actually had to go, I went and tracked down my principal and I said, is this it? Is this our vision and mission statement? And she says, I think so. So, our mission statement is supporting foundations for the future. Our vision statement, just 3 simple words, cultivating versatile citizens. So that's all that we've got. Now let's kind of take a look into those. So as I'm looking at our mission statement, supporting foundations for the future, some key things that I'm noticing is that this is not specific. Now, remember, your mission statement is supposed to be more specific, talking about how you're going to accomplish your vision, how you're going to reach that end goal. Here, there's no specific instructional strategies or procedures mentioned. It's not talking about the ages of any of our students that we're going to be focusing on. It's very broad. It also is not academically focused. Okay, supporting foundations for the future. Now, granted, academics is a foundation. However, it's not explicitly discussing the academic aspect of it. And as a teacher looking at this, one question I kept asking myself is, how does this help me to guide instruction? And as I'm looking at it, it doesn't really provide me any guidance, so I don't feel, I know this is why it's not been utilized within my building. Our vision statement, cultivating versatile citizens. Well, it's not too wordy. It's very short to the point, but I feel like it does not provide any direction. So cultivating versatile citizens. So one question that I was asking myself while looking at the vision statement is, how will we know when this end goal has been met? If our goal is to create these versatile citizens, how are we defining that? Okay, so I found myself really lost and confused when I was looking at our school vision and mission statements. So changes that I would make, well, as I was looking for these, I was kind of running around talking to different people who had some say in developing these, and I came to realize that these were developed, we think 5 years ago. So this is going to be year 5. which again, if you remember, we only want these in play for 3 to 5 years. So we're right here at the end. So my changes, if I were superintendent, would be to start over. I would complete a needs assessment, see what our needs are currently, and use that to focus our statements. I then feel like it's really important to develop a team that is motivated for this specific task. Within our school district, our school leadership team has a ton of responsibilities, and the school mission and vision statements isn't really one of those unless it kind of gets thrown on them that year. So I feel like the team that was put in place when our current statements were developed didn't really have any buy-in from the beginning, so they weren't too concerned with creating effective ones. Okay, so how does all of this support the educational success and well-being of each student and adult? So if you have a well-written vision and mission statement, that's going to guide your teachers and your staff towards that end goal. You know, if your end goal is clearly defined in your vision statement, that can be useful. By having that end goal in sight, they can then adapt and modify their lessons to fit the needs for all students while still allowing them to all be successful. So again, it all starts with your vision and mission statements. They have to be well written, they have to be clear, and there has to be an end goal. You have to think about, what do we want accomplished at the end of this time? Okay, so for our Module 1, so Component 1.1, it focuses solely on evaluating our school mission and vision statement. So through the evaluation, we're asked what changes we would make. By doing this, we are asked to think about how to develop statements. So we're kind of looking into the next step of developing those statements. This is extremely relevant to my learning right now. I'm still a classroom teacher, so I'm currently planning and mapping out my school year. So I went and looked at my vision and my mission statement because I didn't know them before this assignment. And I thought about how I could use that to help guide my instruction through the year. I don't feel that our statements are very strong, so I can't really use that to guide my instruction, but I could see how if we had really well thought out and clear vision and mission statements, how that would help me during this point in my planning. And then a reflection. This assignment has shown me the importance of building good teams. A school's vision and mission statements should guide instruction for the next 3 to 5 years. If you don't have a team willing to develop great statements from the beginning, you'll never gain support from your staff. And then finally, I have the references used. So look there for additional information or any follow-up questions. Thanks for listening.